Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. A few days ago I covered a story of a professor at a community college in Maine berating a student for her religion and Second Amendment beliefs when the student chose her views on red flag laws as a topic for an English essay. If you missed that original video, you can find it up here in the cards or down in the description. Well, we have an update on the story. At the time, the student got an apology from the dean, but was told to understand the professor's perspective of being too triggered by pro-gun views to be able to do her job, and the student was encouraged several times to choose a different topic for her assignment. The first update is that the Maine Wire has obtained an email from the school revealing that the professor, Dr. Carol Lewandowski, is no longer teaching the class. While it was originally reported that it was an English class, we're now told that the class is actually an oral communications class and that these students were alerted that another professor in the department, Lynn Mannion, would be taking over the class for the remainder of the summer session. The email did not provide a reason for Lewandowski stepping away, but Professor Mannion wrote that she'd be providing a new batch of assignments to address the course objectives with a detailed roadmap on how to complete the course. The student who was mocked for her faith and pro-gun views, Catherine Parker, has also since done a radio interview where she noted many other students had complained that, on top of this so-called feedback Catherine got, the class was generally disorganized, with students often feeling lost about the exact details of assignments and what exactly Lewandowski's grading system was. We've also learned that this was not the first time that Lewandowski claimed she could not do her job over politics. It turns out that she canceled class immediately following the 2024 election, saying the results left her so distraught that she was not able to communicate in any way, shape, or form, and thus could not do her job. Apparently, a few students complained that that was unprofessional, and she responded that the election of Donald Trump was akin to a death in her family that left her depressed, disgusted, and in despair, and said that those students had a limited scope of what professionalism means. She wrote, "The U.S. is going to lose its glorious democracy, its stately presidency again, its constitution, its global respect, its civil rights, its guiding light, its compassion for others, its respect for facts, and just our sense of humanity." And now, nearly 50 Republican lawmakers have written a letter to the college demanding Lewandowski be fired. I always want to caution people about delving into cancel culture because I think it is a horrible, insidious thing aimed at silencing people we don't agree with, and the First Amendment covers all speech, even the speech we don't like. I would like to think that we do not want to stoop so low, but there is a difference between holding certain views and what someone chooses to do about their views or with those views. Do I agree with the professor's views? Absolutely not. Do I agree with her behavior? No, not in any way, shape, or form, to use her own words. The problem here is that she was in a position of power in a public institution receiving taxpayer dollars that is bound to follow the Constitution, non-discrimination, and admitted she was unable to do her job. Not only that, she went the next step, and instead of trying to find a way to do her job or even find a more respectful way to ask the student to cover another topic, she mocked and insulted the student for constitutionally protected beliefs and rights. She attempted to intimidate and silence her, and that is what's problematic. Just like any other public employee, if you cannot do your job, you should not be in your job. Teachers and professors are not meant to be activists in the classroom. In their letter, the lawmakers wrote, "Attempts to intimidate and silence students, especially based on religious status, ideology, and political affiliation, are completely unacceptable and run counter to the goals of higher education. Moreover, we are profoundly concerned by the professor's flippant mockery of the students' Christian faith, and we will do everything in our power to defend the right to worship everywhere in Maine, including on our college campuses." According to research conducted at the University of North Carolina, nearly 70% of conservative students fear retaliation and harassment at America's institutions of higher education. Because of the comments made by Professor Lewandowski, their fears now have a face, a name, and a home at Eastern Maine Community College. Unless you take the appropriate action now. There is no excuse for these comments, and we urge the system to fire this professor with immediate force and effect. And while he did not sign on to this letter, Maine's former governor also made a statement against Lewandowski's behavior. Now, we don't know if anything is going to come of it beyond her no longer teaching the rest of this class over the summer, but for now, Eastern Maine Community College says that they are continuing to investigate the incident. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this video. You guys know the drill. For all of the algorithm things, please do them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.